Hey everybody, Magic Hour Movie Man here with my third week of Scare-athon, where I'm watching different horror movies every day and giving a weekly recap. Each day has its own theme, so we're going to get right to it. I'll just say a few words about each film and then talk about the movies I'm going to be watching next week. So for Monday, which is Maniac Monday, I watched the original Black Christmas, the 1974 version. I haven't seen the remake, and really enjoyed it. A lot of people consider it kind of the film that kind of started the slasher film trend that went into the late 70s and into the 80s. Halloween is probably the more influential film, as probably most of you know. But Black Christmas, definitely, you see all the hallmarks of a good slasher film. You've got pretty teens in trouble. It's a sorority house at Christmas time, basically being stalked by some crazed killer that all the kills you see from his point of view, so that kind of killer's point of view thing you see in a lot of slasher films. And of course being picked off one by one. Good, solid film. I'd never seen it before and enjoyed it quite a bit. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Tuesday is Too Many Zombies Tuesday because I couldn't think of anything better. And I watched the Val Lewton movie, I Walked with a Zombie. I'm a huge Val Lewton fan. If you don't not familiar with Val Lewton, it's worth kind of checking out. Basically, he had a deal with, I think it's RKO Studios, to make low-budget horror films for them because the horror film trend was very popular with the Universal horror films and some other B-movie horror films that were doing really well, I guess. And so he only had really two stipulations. One, keep the budget low. Two, use a provocative title that they would give him. And, of course, he just worked around that, and I Walked with a Zombie. It's not the zombies we're used to of, ever since, shoot, I just drew a blank of the most famous zombie movie ever. You're probably yelling it at your computer screen right now. George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Thank you. I heard you out there, see? Thank you. Night of the Living Dead, ever since Night of the Living Dead, zombies have been more about eating brains, and even more recently, it seems to be like a virus type situation where people are all hyped up. The hyper zombies versus the slow lumbering zombies. This is the original zombies, by zombies through voodoo. So it's not that type of horror film. As a matter of fact, it's actually kind of a drama interlaced with this voodoo aspect. And interesting film, made in the 40s. Interesting to me in that they talk about slavery openly, and that it seems to me from the movie that slavery kind of lingers over the film as this heavy thing that's kind of doomed this sugar plantation, and there's just a sense of dread, guilt maybe, through the film that I find kind of interesting. So if you're interested in classic films and things like that, this might be worth checking out at some point. And I might do a whole Val Lewton thing at some point because I find him really interesting. Alright, spent too long on that. Wednesday, I saw Werewolf of London on Netflix Instant Watch. Werewolf of London, made in the 30s. I'd recently seen the original Wolfman, which was made, I believe, in the late 40s. And it was just kind of okay. The Wolfman was just kind of okay. Werewolf of London I enjoyed quite a bit. I don't know if my expectations were lowered or what, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a little more sci-fi-ish than I was expecting. The main character, played by Henry Hall, is a botanist who, in the beginning, has tracked down a rare plant that blooms in moonlight, and, of course, in the process gets bit by a werewolf, goes back to London, and realizes he's going to be turning into a werewolf with this plant that he's found is kind of an antidote situation. But the sci-fi aspect of it is his laboratory is almost more like a mad scientist's laboratory for some reason, complete with a device that whenever somebody comes through his front door, rings the doorbell, in his lab he's got like a little device where he'll do a rotary dial and the image will come up on a screen like a video screen. And for the 30s, I found that really fascinating. So that was a lot of fun. So check that out if you like I said, old classic films. Thursday is Bloodthirsty Thursday, where I watch vampire films and I rewatch the classic Lost Boys. I don't have to say too much about this because I'm sure most of you have seen it. You've got the two Coreys. You've got Mullets. You've got, what else? The Frog Brothers. You've got Death by Stereo. It's just a great movie. There are different types of horror films. You know, the truly scary horror films, the ones that make you feel dirty after you watch them. And then there are the ones that are just kind of fun horror films. And this is the fun type of horror film. It's got comedy mixed with scares, and even at points almost more like an action film. But great movie. I still don't know why Corey Haim's character has a Rob Lowe poster up on his closet door, but who knows. And then Friday is Found Footage Friday, and I saw a movie that a lot of you may not be aware of. It's called The Last Broadcast. The Last Broadcast came out the same year as Blair Witch. They shot their movies around the same time. And, of course, Blair Witch is the one everybody remembers. That's the one that had the most press. But The Last Broadcast is, in my opinion, worth a shot. If you want to check something out that's kind of different, interesting. It's very low budget, so keep that in mind. It's, you know, the premise is much like the Blair Witch Project of everything shot, well, at least in this, everything shot on video, and the premise is there's these guys that have a cable access show called Fact or Fiction, and they go out to do a live simulcast from the Jersey woods to do a thing about the Jersey Devil. And something happened, and basically what you have in this movie is a documentarian who's trying to use the found footage to kind of piece together what really happened. Now, Blair Witch has always had a problem. People were disappointed in the ending of Blair Witch Project, including myself. I think it falls flat in the end. It's an interesting film, but it falls flat in the end for me. Last Broadcast does something I find really interesting in the very end that I can't really give anything away, but if you're interested in filmmaking or story structure, things like that, what they do in the end is somewhat subversive to the whole concept of a found footage film, or actually this is more of a mock documentary than a found footage film. It's a documentary that includes found footage, if that makes sense. And then Saturday is Supernatural Saturday, and I had said in my last video I was going to watch Ring 1 and Ring 2, and I put in the movie and started watching it, and halfway through I realized I had put in The Grudge. I got my J-horror mixed up, so I just rolled with it and went with Grudge 1 and Grudge 2, which Grudge 2 I had never seen. The Grudge I'd seen before, enjoyed watching it again. Grudge 2, like I said, have never seen it. I enjoyed it, but probably like most people feel, it's not as good as the first. I still found it enjoyable. I still got some entertainment value out of it, so I don't think it's bad by any means. It's just, to have a great sequel, you need to up the ante. You need to take things in a different direction, and Grudge 2 is kind of just a lot of the same. It didn't really go much further than the original. The original has that great, in my opinion, that great scene where Sarah Michelle Gellar's character is seeing things that have happened in the past with Bill Pullman's character. And she's kind of following him through the house, and it's just kind of creepy how he'll turn and look at her, but he's looking through her at something else, and she's witnessing this whole scenario play out. Just really creepy. And then Sunday is Subscriber Suggestion Sunday, and I went with a movie on Netflix Instant Watch called Shrooms. And it was, I'm sorry, I should have kept track of whose suggestions I was using, but somebody had suggested it, and I checked it out. It really wasn't the type of movie I was expecting, which is a good thing, because I really enjoyed it. It's just that with a name like Shrooms, I was kind of expecting something that was probably more of a horror comedy, and it's really not. It's a played straight horror movie. It's a group of, again, it's a horror trope that's used time and time again, but it's pretty teens in the wilderness. Basically, they've gone on a camping trip in Ireland to do mushrooms, just go nuts and party. And one of them, the main character, a girl, gets a hold of the wrong type of mushroom. And, of course, somebody has given kind of the backstory of what happens if, according to legend, if you take that particular mushroom, how some people have been, the legends say that they could see the future and things like that. And there's a whole side story of the area they're in. There used to be a boys' home with some abusive priests, and they go into detail about, the kids that were abused there had to get shut down, and a couple of the characters from that boys' home had gone missing, including, I think it was the black brother, they called him, and the lonely twin. So it's that idea of kind of building these boogeymen, which had kind of a cool backstory. And, of course, the kids start getting killed one by one until we're down to the girl who took the wrong, well, I should back up a little bit. The girl who took the wrong mushroom by mistake starts seeing the deaths before they happen. And it's just got a lot of crazy stuff going on that by the time you get to the end, it's really well done how it wraps up. One of those, the less you know, the better. But another thing I should mention, not only is it a good horror movie, but I was also really happy to see an actor I recognized right in the beginning. There's one of the characters is British, who's showing these his American friends. He's taking them on the trip, so he knows the area, things like that. At least I think he's British. He didn't sound Irish to me. But anyway, it's Richard from Boardwalk Empire, and it was really cool seeing that actor in a totally different role. So I enjoyed that quite a bit. So whoever suggested Shrooms, thank you. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Now let me give you the roster for next week, or this coming week, as I'm putting this up a day late as usual. Maniac Monday is going to be the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Too Many Zombies Tuesday. I'm going to start the second season of Walking Dead. I'm not going to make some promise of doing the whole season, but I will give it a start. I had seen the first season of Walking Dead. I was kind of on it, but I've heard such good things about Walking Dead ever since then. I need to check out season 2. And Wednesday is Werewolf Wednesday. I'll be watching Silver Bullet. More Corey Haim action. Bloodthirsty Thursday, I'm going to watch a movie called Stakeland. And then Found Footage Friday, going back to the original Blair Witch. And then Supernatural Saturday, the original Amityville Horror. And then Subscriber Suggestion Sunday will be revealed in the next video. Alright, so if you have any things to say about any of the movies I saw this week or the ones that are coming up, let me know. Also, suggestions, more than welcome. Down below, let me know what movies I should check out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.